A community devastated tonight after a fire killed 5 people, including 3 children. We're now learning more about some of the victims.
He's now considered to be a suspect in the case. Newly released police interviews show what a man told investigators after his girlfriend disappeared months ago.
Big concerts often bring with them big traffic headaches and the potential for big counterfeit tickets. We're talking with venue leaders about how they're handling all of it.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 6.
Good evening. Firefighters call it one of the worst fires in the city's history. Tonight, investigators say 5 people, 3 of them children, have died in a fire in Maysville.
That fire started overnight in a row of homes along West 2nd Street, and this is what the scene looked like from Sky First this afternoon. Maysville police said the victims included 35-year-old Lori Doppelhuer, a U.S. Marine, and 3 children ages 1, 3, and 10. Our Sam Smith has the latest in our top story at 6.
This is a sad day for the folks of Maysville. For the first time in the town's history, 5 people were killed in a fire. It's even been hard on firefighters.
You know, I just took over as chief 2 months ago. Certainly not how we're the start of this chapter of my career.
Chief Doyle says a family of 4 and their neighbor died this morning. He says the fire started in the neighbor's back porch. He says that neighbor had a working smoke detector, and the family did not.
One was found mounted to a ceiling in the children's bedroom with the battery out of it.
Lori Doppelhuer and her 3 kids were pronounced dead inside the home. Friends say she was a Marine.
You're stuck with me for a while, okay?
Ruth Austin will watch over their cats while the surviving members of the family, Lori's husband and 2 other kids, grieve.
And I can't do anything else, but I can take care of their animals.
Officials say the 3 buildings damaged by the fire will likely need to be torn down. In Maysville, Sam Smith, WKYT.
Maysville police identified the family's neighbor who also died in that fire as 68-year-old Larry Brickles. The Red Cross is helping the 30 people forced from their homes because of that fire.
Today, the author of a book claiming a former Louisville basketball staffer paid escorts to dance for and have sex with players and recruits appeared on national television. It was Katina Powell's first TV interview since the book was released earlier this month. Rob Bromley joins us now with more on what she said. Rob?
Well, Katina Powell had a lot to say, and ESPN's Outside the Lines reported 5 former U of L recruits and players said they attended parties in a campus dorm that included stripping and sex. They told ESPN that this was paid for by former Card staffer and player Andre McGee. This morning, the self-described escort spoke on camera for the first time with Outside the Lines.
The recruit would pick out what girl he wanted. Andre would come to me, tell me what girl the recruit wanted, and I would tell the girl, and she would say her price. I would tell him. He would say, okay, give me the money. I pretty much would sometimes hand it to them, sometimes he'd give it to him, and that was just it. He would take them into another room, and her and the recruit would do what they did behind closed doors.
A U of L coach Rick Pitino has said all along he knew nothing of the alleged activities. Today, Pitino called on Andre McGee to come clean as the investigation proceeds.
Rob, thank you. The University of Louisville Police Department is investigating Powell's claims. Her attorneys were scheduled to meet with the University of Louisville's general counsel this afternoon. New tonight, Mercer County school leaders say a student admitted bringing a gun to school. King Middle School leaders say the student brought the gun in a backpack yesterday and later showed it to other students last night at a football game. They also say the student told 2 classmates about having the gun yesterday, but the classmates didn't believe it, so they didn't report it. School leaders say an investigation found the student didn't intend to hurt anyone and the gun was actually not working. They say they're handling this incident according to school board policy.
Tonight, we're learning some new details about the investigation into the disappearance of a Nelson County mother. Crystal Rogers has not been seen since July, and now hundreds of pages of documents and hours of police interviews have been released in the case. And that includes an interview with Rogers' boyfriend. Jennifer Palumbo joins us from the live desk in the newsroom with the latest. Jennifer?
Sam, police are calling Crystal Rogers' boyfriend Brooks Houck a suspect, but so far he hasn't been arrested. He's the last person to have seen her alive 3 months ago. Our sister station, WLKY in Louisville, obtained the newly released video of his and his brother's interviews with investigators.
I don't need an attorney. I haven't asked for an attorney. I don't need none of that. I'm innocent. I'm willing to talk to whoever. But this to me is really starting to get silly.
On the video obtained by the Louisville TV station, Houck says July 3rd he'd gone to his family farm with Crystal and their son. When investigators mention a burn pile a search dog hit on, he also remembers lighting a trash fire.
Heard anything Friday night when you were out there?
Yeah, yes, it's not uncomfortable. I don't want the stuff piling up to the moon. I always light a fire.
A surveillance camera on his aunt's home shows him leaving just before midnight. Houck says he's left with Crystal, but when he wakes up the next morning, he says she's gone.
I didn't know exactly what to think. I don't know what time I called her. Yes, I called her that morning.
He later returns to the farm, admits to moving a bulldozer. Then his brother Nick, a Bardstown police officer, calls.
I'm innocent. I ain't done nothing wrong.
1 week later, Nick Houck comes in to talk with police. He's asked about that call and the trip captured on surveillance video of him and his brother returning to the farm within 2 hours of the interview.
What went on while you were out there at the farm?
If I knew, I'd tell you. I wish I could give you a detailed written statement. I don't know.
WLKY reports neighbors saw Nick Houck take something out of his police cruiser days after Crystal disappeared. Investigators asked him about what a dog and the crime lab found in the cruiser.
Couple spots in your trunk and that blanket, just lit up like Chernobyl. Why would that?
There's not going to be any blood in the trunk.
Okay, well, I did not say blood. I'm talking about other bodily fluids.
I don't have blood.
Houck says he never helped move a body, never helped destroy any evidence. He says he and his brother are innocent.
There's no way he can do something like that. He's not capable of it.
Last week, the Bardstown Police Department fired Nick Houck for interfering in the investigation. He's not been named a suspect, but police have said they believe he knows what happened the night Crystal Rogers disappeared. At the live desk, Jennifer Palumbo, WKYT.
Last week, the Nelson County Sheriff said Crystal Rogers is now presumed dead. Her family continues their search, but they have scaled back those efforts.
An Eastern Kentucky man now admits he caused a hit-and-run crash that killed 2 people. Tony Kegley pled guilty today to manslaughter, leaving the scene of an accident and evidence tampering. The victims, Tony Ross and Elizabeth Thornsberry, were hit and killed while walking along Highway 101 in Morgan County 2 years ago. As part of a plea deal, prosecutors recommended an 8-year prison sentence for Kegley, but the victims' families say that's not enough.
It's devastating. You know, you kill 2 people and it's just a slap on the wrist, basically. He still has his family. His family can still see him, touch him, hear him.
Kegley's attorney says his client plans to make an apology to the victims' families when he is formally sentenced next month.
Stretch of beautiful fall weather continued today. It looks like the sunshine and mild temperatures are sticking around for a little while. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey has more on that forecast. Chris?
Yeah, very nice out there again today, guys. That's a common theme over the past several days, and it's still a theme we're going to be talking about for the next few days. A little look outside those temperatures, 60s across the board. A lot of mid and upper 60s late this afternoon, heading into the early evening. And it's a quiet defender. Not a whole lot showing up. A little bit of cloud cover trying to get into far western Kentucky. Not going to be producing any kind of precipitation. Look at some of our live traffic cams from across the region. How about that sunshine that is showing up right now into the Lexington area, Georgetown cam, down in Madison County cam. Little slow on the day. We'll give them a break since it's so nice outside. That full sunshine, but look at some of those ice crystal clouds now beginning to creep on in across the Lexington area. If you're out and about this evening, we'll drop it from the low and mid 60s into the low and mid 50s by the time 11 o'clock rolls around. I'll come back in less than 10 minutes and focus on the forecast. That includes some changes heading into the weekend, guys. You may want to find the umbrellas for an active pattern just ahead.
Thank you, Chris. The wait is almost over, some for months and months. For thousands of Taylor Swift fans in central Kentucky, her concert at Rupp Arena begins a little more than an hour from right now.
But as we first told you last night at 11, Rupp Arena leaders have an alert for those with tickets to the concert. They want fans to be aware of counterfeit tickets and other problems that may pop up at the gate. Kristen Kennedy talked to Rupp Arena leaders today.
Taylor Swift fans started sitting outside Rupp Arena hours before Tuesday night's concert.
We just Wanted to get here early, make sure we had front row.
Caitlin Crone and Autumn King have seen the music superstar perform more than a dozen times. They've seen ticket holders turned away almost as many times, too.
I have seen a lot. When I went to Columbus, I saw 3 or 4 people in a row have fake tickets.
People don't understand that if you buy from a secondary ticket site, you're really running a risk if that ticket's a good ticket, valid ticket, because there's so many pieces and parts to it.
Concert organizers here at the Lexington Center say that there's very little they can do when it comes to counterfeit tickets. The only way to guarantee that your ticket is an authentic one is to buy it from the box office.
You didn't buy the ticket through an authorized site of Ticketmaster or us. You bought it through a secondary site. So somebody else has the money, somebody else created all the transitions. I can't really help you. I can tell you who got the ticket potentially originally, but if your name's not on the account and you lost the ticket or it's a bad ticket or whatever, I apologize, but that transaction didn't occur with us or one of our sites. That occurred through a broker site.
With close to 17,000 people in Lexington to see Swift, Director of Arena Management Carl Hall recommends fans leave with a lot of time to spare. In Lexington, Kristen Kennedy, WKYT.
And venue leaders say the largest crowd crunch comes around an hour before the show. And how about this? Some Transylvania University fraternity brothers are using their gift from Taylor Swift to give back to the community. After making a viral video of themselves lip-syncing to Shake It Off, the singer gave the Beta Mu chapter of Delta Sigma Phi tickets to tonight's concert. Each member received a ticket plus one for a date, but the fraternity decided to give the date tickets, 37 in all, to Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Bluegrass. Good for those guys.
And they did a great job on their video.
That they did. Today, Governor Beshear said the state is moving forward with a plan to stop bullying in Kentucky schools.
The Kentucky Youth Bullying Task Force has been meeting for about a year to come up with a plan. The task force defined the bullying problem, outlined standards to promote a safe place for students, and advised getting more counselors in schools. The task force also wants to create a state-level office to handle bullying. An 11-year-old Paducah girl who started an anti-bullying foundation was among those on the task force.
Bullying's happening every day now. It's something that people are getting used to, and they're just happy that, you know, we're finally getting to the point where we're realizing what it is and taking a stop to it.
The task force estimates it could cost at least $300,000 to fund the anti-bullying plan. The money would have to come from the state budget.
New tonight, Eastern Kentucky University will soon debut a documentary film that looks back at the university's history. The film, called The Essential Eastern, will premiere Monday, November 9th at the EKU Center for the Arts. It's produced and directed by EKU communication professor Chad Cogdill. The film follows how EKU has evolved since its beginnings as Central University in 1874. The premiere is free and open to the public.